Our founding fathers here in this country brought about the only true revolution that has ever taken place in man's history. Evolved the idea that you and I have within ourselves the God-given right and the ability to determine our own destiny.
The United States of America, the greatest nation in history, ordained by our founders to be guided by divine providence. But today, we are witnessing the orchestrated disintegration of America. Take a few seconds and take a look around your town, your state, look at your country and your world, and boldly ask, what in the hell is going on?
But freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same.
Welcome to the podcast Project Third Eye Opened, where we dare to question with boldness the events that are unfolding around us that others won't. At the end of the day, it is we the people who will decide the destiny of the nation. Now, introducing your host, Tony L.
Greetings, everyone. This is another very special interview podcast presentation, Project Third Eye Open. And here today we have Miss California herself, Miss Amita Sharma. Excellent. And she is a woman holistic wellness champion, advocate. She is one things I want to talk to her and get into about is the whole alternative healing, holistic healing, and a lot of women right issues. If we want to talk to her about that during these very challenging, confusing, exciting times in which we currently live and exist. So, Amita, tell everybody about you.
Thank you so much, Tony. I'm just trying to, make a difference and make an impact in women's lives. And the reason is that the journey of a woman after the reproductive years is not paid attention to, right? So we pay a lot of attention as a society, as a community towards the reproductive years, towards, the offsprings and all that. And that's good. But then after the woman passes her reproductive years, she's forgotten. And what I'm trying to do is bring that out in openness and talk about a mid-age woman's journey and help her through this journey into, being a senior or whatever. So what I'm doing is created a holistic wellness platform for mid-age women to navigate their issues and seek help. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay. Well, just for the record, I'm not a female. I'm not a male.
I know.
So this is definitely outside my wheelhouse, but I'm always interested in female issues. Interested in females. So, and I want to bring this kind of different thing, because we can't always talk about politics, and there's always things outside of politics. And definitely. Women issues, as you mentioned, after they give birth, people, you say, forget about them. I definitely understand that, and definitely don't want that to happen. I don't want women to feel shorted in any way, any part of their life. So any way I can help with that, I'm all for it. So tell us about the issue of women's holistic wellness.
So what I'm trying to do is, let's say a 40-year-old woman, right? That's what I'm focusing on, women mid-age 40 plus. And holistic wellness is that she is actually going through, she probably starts with a perimenopause journey, which she doesn't even know before she hits the menopause. So she's going to go through a lot of hormonal fluctuations that's going to impact not only her physical wellness, but also her mental, her relationships, everything. Right? That's what the issue that I'm trying to bring it out before she hits the menopause, that's the perimenopause journey in 40s. After she hits the menopause, which is 50s and plus, and then of course later on. So that's the holistic part of it, is really taking care of yourself, physical, mental, social, spiritual, financial also, because this whole journey can impact everything. It's not just one thing, right? It's not just physical, oh, I have a sore throat, I'll be fine in a couple of days. This journey goes on for almost a decade.
A decade?
Yes, a decade. And it can impact everything, believe it or not, your career, financial situation, your relationship with your spouse or partner, your physical, wellness, your self-esteem. And I can expand on all this. And if you don't know how to take care of yourself, you're just going to be having some anxiety and depression and low self-esteem and issues with your image, body image, and all those things, and possibly get into divorce, which we have a lot of data. 60% of the women who are going through divorce are in this phase.
Now, tell people, how long have you been doing this? And
About
do you have information in this? You have 3 letters after your name. What's your background in this?
I'm not a medical doctor, first of all. I'm not even a holistic expert. I'm just a person who actually had very aggravated symptoms through my perimenopause journey in my 40s, and it impacted, like I'm trying to explain
You use the word
to you, everything in my life, my career.
What's aggravated? So for people who do not know what menopause is, what's normal menopause and what's aggravated menopause? What's the difference?
Okay, so well, the difference is, like in my case, while I'm going to work, I'm having hot flashes and I'm profusely sweating, and I don't know, they're just uncontrollable. As an example, that's aggravated symptom of a hot flash that's happening, unpredictable, right? And then also, the flow is completely uncontrolled, which is not normal for a woman, right? To a point that suddenly it's unpredictable. Then you can't sleep at night. Then in the morning, you're not able to concentrate. You're foggy. Your mood swings are going crazy. And this is all happening. These are the symptoms that sometimes are not getting controlled, is what I'm trying to say. A normal menopause, yes. A lot of women don't have any issues going through the menopause. There could be little things here and there. But majority of the women, like I would say 85% of the women, have a lot of symptoms that they sometimes cannot manage without the help of an expert or without help of some other expertise.
And based on your studies, what have you seen any changes from when you first started to now?
Yeah, I have been able to fix myself.
I mean, outside of yourself, I'm talking about, as women who you interact with, who.
Okay, yeah. So things are changing.
But I mean, you are good, so that's I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear you're okay.
Yeah. No. I'm actually pretty good. So what I'm saying is that things are changing. We are, as women, we are more aware of this problem that women face, and of course with the partners also. So yes, there has been a huge upsurge of this topic being discussed in media now, right? In the last couple of years, I've been doing this for the last couple of years or so. So there is a more awareness. There is a talk about it. There are celebrities who are talking about this. So definitely, I see that whole wave of this topic being discussed more openly than it was being discussed about 4 or 5 years back, as an example.
Give us an idea of how many women have you interacted with, help and such. How many?
So I have interviewed about 4,000 holistic experts globally, and majority of them have been mid-aged women, as I said. Now, as far as other things, our platform is being launched in a couple of weeks, where what we've done is in the last 2-3 years, we have conducted a lot of webinars, educational sessions. Almost 5,000 people have attended our sessions, and I have done approximately 1,500 educational sessions. And in that, approximately 5,000, maybe 10,000 people have attended. So those have been like educational sessions, but not necessarily a platform with the, with the flow that you could do yourself. So after learning for the last 2-3 years of our so much market research, so much interviewing, so much doing, almost 1,500 plus educational sessions, what we are doing now is we are launching a self-care app where we will not be conducting the way we have been doing in the last 2 years. Now, as a woman, I can come in and I can pay like $5 to $10 a month, and I can start self-care app for a perimenopause, menopause journey. And if I need some help, like, at the next step, I have experts who are qualified, vetted by us, that I can reach out to help me. As an example, I need a nutrition plan. I'm a woman in my 40s. I'm going through hormonal fluctuations. Help me do that, or I need some, exercise training or strength training. Tell me how to do that. Or it could be hair loss. It could be so many things, right? Anxiety, mental health, career counseling, divorce counseling, so many things, right? So that's kind of how we have done. When you ask me the questions, how many women, this is how we have done it.
But since you deal with women all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
where do culture fit in and diet?
Culture is a big part of this, and I'll explain you. And we are trying to build a culturally sensitive platform. First of all, the age of a menopause, as an example, culturally, Latino American women and African American women get the menopause earlier, like 47, 48.
One point of order. Could we say Black American?
Oh, sure, Black American. I'm sorry. Okay, Latino American and Black American women, they enter the menopause at 47, 48, and their symptoms are more aggravated. I used the word aggravated earlier as well. They are going to get more hot flashes, more
Now,
issues
when you say more aggravated compared to who?
compared to Caucasian women.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So now,
Caucasian women,
okay, so with that, what about other women like India,
yeah,
uh, um, um, other countries? Is it,
yeah, yeah.
or you primarily focus in on American?
No. I'll explain you.
Okay.
So Caucasian women get 51, 52, Latino American, Black American 47, 48, Indian women in India 45, 46, Muslim women in Sudan or other Muslim countries 45, 46. The fact that it's so culturally different and the type of symptoms they have are completely different.
Now, have you looked at European or Greek? Because I hear Greek culture a little bit different, and Italian because of the food that they eat.
Yeah,
Does that figure into it?
I did not look into, there's not much data.
Okay.
I haven't looked into that, but my guess is they're very healthy compared to all of us because they're a
That too.
Mediterranean diet,
Right,
right?
right.
Right. And the diet is very good in Spain and Italy and Mediterranean region. So my guess is that women in that area are healthier than the ones that I'm pointing out. But I haven't looked at the data. That's a good point. I'll look into that.
Okay. Okay, but continue. I don't interrupt.
Okay, so now the symptoms are also different, is what I'm trying to say. Like for instance, Japanese women don't get hot flashes because of the soya diet that they have been doing for the decades and decades, as opposed to a Black American woman or Latino American woman. She is on a processed food diet. So what I'm trying to say is it
Okay,
depends on
no.
the
Okay,
lifestyle.
this make a point. You
Yeah.
mentioned processed foods in regards to Asian women, so or Asian culture. So, is there something particular that you've been able to pinpoint? Is it soy? Is it they eat more fish? They eat more
Mhm.
vegetables, or they
Yeah.
don't do processed foods like we do, or is it all the above?
All of the above. They eat more fish, they eat more soup-based diet, they eat more vegetables, they eat more fresh food, they eat more soy. If you go to Asia, I travel to Asia every year, and you'll see most. I think entire Asia, if I can make a blanket statement,
Oh yeah,
eats
for sure.
fresh food.
Yeah,
Every single day they eat fresh food. They have a lot of open air little
yes,
things you see in movies,
yes,
right? They show,
yes.
and it's very cheap. So I think it's the dietary and the lifestyle, dietary habits that most of the Asians have, specifically in that part of the region. As opposed to, you can, if we come here in United States or Western world, we don't have the time to cook, right? How much time do we have to cook when we are going from jobs and trying to make our ends meet? So we end up eating a lot of processed food, like canned food or some other like easy microwavable, and that makes a difference, is what I'm
But
trying to say.
can we can we only make an excuse because we don't have time, or we don't prioritize it? Because I'm quite sure women that come up under your care, you
Yeah.
prioritize their
Hmm.
change of lifestyle, they're eating better,
Hmm.
they exercise, maybe doing some yoga.
Yeah.
They change their priorities.
They're not aware. See, that's a problem. If you look at the 60s and 70s ads, right? And they are trying to, and I was looking at Campbell's ad, oh, you can cook the meal like it's all ready to go. You
It's all
open it up, you
fast. It's
put
all
it in,
fast,
right?
right?
And
Microwave,
go fast. And
right?
there you have a nice meal for your family.
Yeah.
So, right, the media is really making it like, oh, it's so easy, and the women start doing all these canned foods and all that. So I think it's a lack of awareness. I don't know where it went, to be honest with you, why we stopped eating fresh food. It's beyond me,
Right,
right?
right, right.
And food, if you ask my opinion, and
It's
and
easy,
suddenly
it's
we are
convenient,
in a
it's
way we
hip,
are,
it's cool. So
yes.
we made it a
Mhm.
fashion. We made it a fashion to eat
Exactly.
out and eat
Yeah.
and do things microwave, instantaneous. It's a fashion. It's a fad.
Yeah. It's a society, right? We are living in a society which is fast. We need instant results, and the food is no different. The food is also, we want to spend half an hour every single day cooking. We just say, okay, we want instant, and there it goes. So, but the nutrient value of all this food is not the same as you would have a fresh vegetables or a fresh foods. So, but then that accumulates. That's the point I'm trying to make, right?
Right.
That accumulates into, no, I haven't done study on men. I'm sure if I do the studies on men, I'm sure the men will also have these kind of,
Yeah, issues. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
bad food in, bad food out.
absolutely. But I've done a lot of study into the women's lives, and this is what I have found. And the cultural differences um, start accumulating, and then they bubble up in the middle age. And because now all these years, and then suddenly when the hormonal fluctuations start happening to women's life, for example, in perimenopause, the periods start becoming irregular, and the hormones start fluctuating, and all this starts bubbling up, right?
Mhm.
That's where the problem ends. And now this whole bubble up starts impacting your career, because you're not, I told you all the symptoms, and if you're not able to control them, relationship with your partner could also be impacted. Loss of libido is one of the symptoms that could have. Anxiety, 50% of women have anxiety, depression issues. Majority of the women have self-image, self-esteem, low self-esteem issues. And then the work gets impacted. So that also, there's a fear of discrimination, age discrimination at work. You might have to reinvent your career now at age 45 or 50. You can't cope up with the corporate world. It's not just physical, is what I'm trying to
Mhm.
say, right? It's not just, oh, I'm perimenopause, menopause, my periods
Mhm.
stop, and that's the end of it. It's impacting the entire life. And
Mhm.
that's what I'm trying to bring it out,
Mhm.
and offer
Mhm.
women help. They need help. They need to understand. And suddenly, I have so many of my friends, they're divorced now. And in Indian culture, the divorce and separation was unheard of, right? Unheard.
I heard that. I heard that. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It's a country of arranged marriages, and then you stick it out until you die. But
Right.
now it's different. It's completely
It's
different.
in that case it's good and bad. Some people paint it as bad because it's arranged, and some people look at it being arranged because they see stuff on TV like it's
Mhm.
forced. It's like
Yeah.
a shotgun wedding, but it's not that the case all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's arranged, and just like back in the day, in our culture, the
Yeah.
the prospective husband would come meet the family, and the
Yes.
family would say yes or no. And someone could say
Yes.
that's arranged because if dad say no, it ain't happening. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of the same way,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe
Yes.
at a higher level because they actually bring the families on both sides in. And say,
Correct.
yes, this is going to
Correct.
happen. Yeah, this is not going to happen. And they may do this at a younger age.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end result, it's still the same thing. Families get involved and they actually make the decision for the two
Yeah.
couples.
Yes, yeah. So it's always in all cultures, it's the families, right? You look at any culture, it doesn't matter Christianity, Hinduism, any culture, Muslim, it doesn't matter. It's all when the marriage happens, it's the families come together, right? And that's true. But what I'm saying is now so I didn't mean to get into the marriage part,
No, no,
but
that's
this
fine.
whole
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but this whole journey of perimenopause, menopause, when the woman is going through, and if she's not open communication with her partner, and if there is a loss of libido, or she has pelvic health issues or other issues, that could also impact into lack of communication, and loss of libido could eventually get into a situation where you cannot get out, and it could be separation or divorce, or so many things. And it's not the only reason. I'm not saying this is the only
No, no,
reason
no,
why it happens.
no.
This
I mean, but
could be one attribute.
it's two people involved here. So if the
Yeah.
woman's going through this, and
Yes.
men would never say, "I understand what women are going through," because we don't.
Yes.
So
No.
in most cases, we're innocent bystanders, and we just taking the scrap metal, right? If it's a lot of scrap metal, and sometimes
Yeah.
we don't like the collateral damage involved, and we just, I can't handle it. I don't know what you're going through.
Yeah.
Like, you're not talking to me. We ain't vibing here.
Yeah.
So we got to make some changes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's not the fault of men or
No,
anyone. It's just the society. We don't talk about this as a community. How are you going to know? How are men going to know? I had no clue. I was going through something. I was clueless.
right? If you don't know,
So,
I definitely don't know what's
yeah,
going on.
exactly. So the whole point, what I'm trying to make is mid-aged women or men, actually men also go through their own share of hormone fluctuations. Their testosterone goes down. We know that.
Yeah,
And
what they call it, the midlife crisis.
exactly, the midlife blues, midlife
Right,
crisis.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a reason why we call it, because of all these hormonal fluctuations that are happening in each of our bodies, men as well as women. And all I'm saying is that we need to understand the science behind it. We need to understand why it's happening, and take control and take charge of taking care of ourselves. And that's it. There's nothing more than that,
No,
you
right,
know?
right. Now, when you
Right?
look at different cultures, because this is the thing that's is fascinating to me, because it's not all the same with everyone, and a lot of it depend. A lot of it has to do with the culture, and a lot of it, of course, has to do with the diet. So, how do people? What culture? And this may be the answer already, a question already answered. What culture handles this the worst, and which one
The
handles it
worst.
the best?
I don't know if I can just say which culture handles it the worst. It's I mean, there's no data or research that talks about it, that this is the worst one. But each culture has its problems. I would say that, like I pointed it out.
Mhm.
Like for example, Muslim culture women, as an example, they have a sedentary lifestyle. We know that, and their diet is also very rich, with meat and all that. And they are getting menopause at the age of 45, 46.
So
And they are
does
not
meat?
allowed to.
So does the meat, the amount of meat that one's consuming in the culture, does it have a lot of weight to do with that?
Red meat, red meat,
Red meat,
red, yeah, red meat.
okay? Not chicken, not pork, but
No,
red meat.
no, chicken and fish is fine, red meat. So they
Okay?
have a lot of lamb, right?
Yeah,
Most of the Muslim cultures have a lot of lamb. And the women are also not, how should I say it?
healthy.
Not healthy, but also not, emancipated, in the sense like they're not allowed to do so many things. And
Okay,
generally, I'm
okay.
making a general.
Gotcha.
General statement here, not in the United States, but general Muslim
Gotcha.
culture. Women are more subdued, they're suppressed, they're subservient, they're required to be subservient.
Gotcha.
So all that, right? And I would say, I don't want to say anything about one culture versus the other, but that would be
Generally
some,
speaking.
generally speaking, where women are subservient, where women are not allowed to express themselves, where they don't have a voice, and they are, they don't have a lifestyle that's active, and
They're not going
when
out
the
doing Pilates.
yeah, so I think those would be culture that need the most help, is how I would frame it, rather than saying the worst versus the good.
Sure.
I don't want to downplay one
No,
culture
right.
as per se. Every one culture I respect, but I think that would be something. It's just general overall.
Yes.
Yeah, taking care of yourself, and if women are not taking care of themselves and not expressing themselves emotionally and also physically not active, and
It's a
that
problem.
will bubble up. Yeah,
Right.
that's a problem. That will
Right.
bubble up for anyone. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter the culture
Exactly.
or the not
Exactly.
culture, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Is that, and if, when it comes to medical tourism, how does that
Uh-huh.
figure into your practice?
So we haven't included the medical tourism yet. We will right now, because that requires, I mean, there a lot of vetting. You want to make sure, you don't want to send someone somewhere in the world and that doesn't work out the way it was
Explain to people
supposed to.
what is medical tourism for people who may not be familiar with it.
So medical tourism, from what I understand, is traveling to another location to take care of yourself, whether it's a issue that you have medically or wellness retreats or some of those things, right? So for instance, let's just take an example. A lot of people go to Bali for wellness retreats. A lot of Americans end up going to Mexico for their dental work or some of the other work, right? They also end up going to India for, again, wellness, Ayurveda, things like that. A lot of people end up going there to take care of alternative medicine therapies to help them get well using Ayurveda or acupuncture. So those are tricky in the
And
sense the medical.
cost is a factor in that, isn't it?
Yeah, cost is a huge factor. Cost is very minimal. But then the most important thing is the outcome, right? If someone is suffering from a serious illness, then the medical tourism has to be researched very thoroughly to make sure the outcome is positive, is what I'm saying. If it's a wellness retreat, going to a yoga retreat, going to some simple things, no big deal.
Mhm.
That's okay. You're just doing yoga by the beach or in the mountains, or in a setting where it's very beautiful. That's okay. But if someone is having some serious medical issues and they want to use medical tourism to take care of themselves, then it becomes tricky, because you want to make sure that the vendor or the professional or the expert is thoroughly vetted and they have decent outcomes, because that's what I'm saying. So we haven't gotten to that at all right now.
Okay. And I know when you talk to women, are they anywhere impacted by the change in the culture as far as men are concerned? That men aren't as, was arguably more, they're not as masculine and not take charge, like they don't know how to really be supportive of a female because they're a lot more sensitive and less firm than maybe they were a generation or so ago. And that may not be just applicable to the United States. It could be worldwide, where the men roles are different, not
Yeah.
firm and supportive and more feminine and passive, like we are turning to our culture today. Do you see that being problematic?
So men are, a lot of men have interviewed me, to be honest with you. I was actually pleasantly surprised that a lot of men wanted to talk to me. And I think men want to help, That has been my good men who care for their partners and spouses and their relationships.
Good
They
men.
want
You say good
to, they want to get,
men.
yeah,
Not men in
they
general,
want to
but good men. Okay.
good men. Yeah, they want to get involved. They
Okay.
want to they want to contribute to the society, to the community. That has been my impression. They genuinely care for their spouses or partners, and they want to help. Right? That's my impression of men, and I don't blame them if they don't know, because generally this topic has not been discussed. So if how are you going to know?
Right, right.
But all the men that I have talked to, they genuinely want to help their partners and also help to make sure this message is reaches as many people as possible through their podcast or through their other communities, which is really encouraging, is what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
coming from men specifically.
Yeah, okay. That's good to hear. I feel better
Yeah,
now. I feel better now.
yeah, absolutely. No, you guys are doing amazing. I'm
Good,
telling you,
good.
the men I've talked to are, they really want, it's an eye opener for them. They don't understand. And when they talk, when I have talked to them and explaining them all the details, they said, oh my God, we would love to help.
Okay,
And
good,
that has
good.
been, yeah, so that has been my impression about some few of the men that I have talked to.
Okay, okay. Like I said, I feel better because men have been getting bashed over the head for the last
No,
4 years,
no, no.
5 years. Okay. Excellent.
Absolutely not. It depends. It depends. It's just that the society in all over the world has been more patriarchal, which we know, and also the research, medical research has been more the funding part, and has nothing to do with men. It's the higher politics or whatever has been focused more on the men than women. So it has nothing to do with an individual guy out there. It's all related to a higher political. Like, I don't even know who decides
No,
where the
right, right, right. But it's interesting because
right?
we there seem to be, well, maybe just in the Western cultures, there is a huge
Mhm.
vigilance wish to be more female centric, not so much male centered. But you just mentioned that still in your arena, particularly, is still male centric.
I think all over the world, the society is more patriarchal, and in the last few years, things have changed,
Right, right, yeah, yeah,
right? In
yeah.
the last decade or so, things have changed. But before that, when I was
Sure,
going to
yeah,
school,
for sure, yeah, yeah. I think
my age group, yeah, my age group is all patriarchal,
yeah,
but the
mine
younger
too.
people
Yeah, yeah,
now, right?
yeah. The good old
Yeah,
days, the good old days. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But age now, 20 something or 30 something, not our age group.
Right.
There is an equal distribution of and that's great. But there's our age group, it has been more patriarchal
Yeah, I agree.
society,
I
right?
agree.
Yeah.
To be true to your time, I don't want to wear your vocal cords out.
No,
And
my throat is going to go away. That's what I'm
right,
worried about.
right. Don't want that to happen. At least not on my account. So tell the
Yeah.
people how they could follow you, keep involved with you, reach out to you. Tell the folks how to be in contact with you.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said again, we have built a holistic wellness platform for mid-age women, encompasses everything under the sun, and women can reach out to www.nourishdoc.com. We will be releasing our app in a couple of weeks or so, where women can download or do it on the web and start their journey less than $10 or $5. We haven't even don't know the price yet, but very, very affordable, that they can start the journey of self-care. So nourishdoc.com.
Excellent, excellent. But definitely appreciate your time, Amita, and I, I've learned so much. Definitely,
Thank you.
I get to hear from the other side. So always blessed to learn more and more each day. But so you be blessed. I definitely do appreciate your time, and
Thank you.
you have a good day. Reach out to me whenever you like. You got anything new?
Yeah, I will reach out to you when we are ready to launch, when we have launched our app. And I'll love to see how, if we can, there's any collaboration opportunity. I'd love to do that. Thank you.
much so. Very much so.
Thank you
Thanks
for
again.
having me.
Please.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to today's show. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. And look for Project Third Eye Open on your favorite social media platforms. Check out our webpage at projectthirdeyeopen.com. And that's third eye with the letter I. projectthirdeyeopen.com. Or drop us a note at tonyel@projectthirdeyeopen.com. That's tonyel@projectthirdeyeopen.com. As you wait for our next podcast to drop, don't take anything we've said as fact. Instead, do your own homework, make up your own mind, then take action. Until next time, be blessed, be good, and be free.